Thank you, one and all. Once again, a warm welcome from IVPI. Get ready for an interesting next few hours for an insightful perspective on different topics which are really apt, relevant, and need of the hour. The speakers are hands-on, experts in their own domain, and passionate about the poultry sector. I now invite the Secretary of IVPI, Dr. Ashok Shetty, to welcome the August gathering, and Professor G. Devagowda, President, IVPI, for the introduction to the theme.
Ellarigu namaskara. Good evening, everyone. In my capacity as a Secretary of IVPI, I take the privilege of welcoming all the invitees on behalf of the members, current and the past office bearers of IVPI. Before that, I welcome every one of you. I would like to mention that over a period of 2.5 decades, as we are keep conducting events like this, we have set a tradition and a standard for ourselves, like time discipline and focusing on theme of that event. We respect value of others' time. Hence, we stick to our mandate and request our guests, speakers, also to focus on the topic of their choice and the time allotted to them. Right from planning to execution and conducting the event, every member of IVPI participates as a volunteer. We greet and treat all our guests personally and attend to them personally. Hence, our welcome address always carries a special personal touch. In this event, we have 7 speakers to share their rich experience and their views on selected topics of their choice regarding today's theme. To begin with, we wish to welcome Shri Kishore Kumar Hegde, Managing Director of Lifeline Feeds, Chikmagalur. Dr. N.C. Manju, Chief Nutritionist from Jaffa Feeds, Pune. Shri Srinivas B.V., Managing Director of Aspertica Biotech, Bangalore. Dr. Abhilash, Managing Director, Natani Recyclers, Bangalore. Ms. Anupa Velusamy, Founder, Kovai BSF, Coimbatore. Shri Ashok Kumar KS, Founder, Ma Integrators, Bangalore. And Dr. Anjan Goswami, who is a co-founder of Utpan app, which is an e-commerce platform for poultry ingredients. We also extend warm welcome to 7 large-hearted sponsors of this evening. Shri Yammarai Magdum and Shri Manjesh Kumar Jadhav and their colleagues from VH Group. Shri Arjun and Nandan Hegde and their colleagues from Lifeline Feeds. Shri Nandakumar and Naren Pashuparthi from Nandu Chickens. Then Dr. Arun Kumar Rai and his colleagues from Bharat Agrovet, Mangalore. Shri Prakash Shetty and his colleagues from Coastal Hatcheries, Mangalore. Shri Vincent Kutina and his colleagues from Ideal Chickens, Mangalore. And Shri Saravanan and his colleagues from Shanthi Feeds, Coimbatore. We are also happy to welcome members and present and past office bearers of Karnataka Poultry Breeders and Farmers Association, all broiler and layer farmers, feed millers from Karnataka and the neighboring states, faculty members and senior postgraduate students from Karnataka Veterinary University, members and office bearers of different veterinary associations, all the senior executives along with their colleagues from various animal health, pharmaceutical and vaccine institutes. Further, we have special invitees from various government bodies and departments and from farmers associations of neighboring states. Dr. Prakash Rao, the President, National Academy of Veterinary Sciences, New Delhi, Dr. Veeranna, Vice Chancellor, Karnataka Veterinary and Animal Sciences University, Dr. Vinod Bhatt, Secretary, Veterinary Council of India, New Delhi, Dr. R.N. Chatterjee, Director at Directorate of Poultry Research, ICR, Hyderabad, Dr. Ajit Ranade, Dean, Bombay Veterinary College, and President, Indian Poultry Science Association. Then Dr. Raghavendra Bhatta, Director, IVPI Bengaluru, and his colleagues. Dr. Mahesh, Director, CPDO, Hesarghatta, and his colleagues. Then from Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Services Department, Dr. Manjunath Palagar, Director, Dr. Srinivas, Additional Director, Shiva Rudrappa, Additional Director. Then Dr. Bhaskar Nayak, PS2 Honorable Minister of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Karnataka State. Dr. Chandraya, Joint Director from BBMP. Then Dr. Selvia Karapagam, Medical Public Worker and a Medical Expert, Bangalore. Shri Vasant Kumar from Maharashtra Poultry Farmers and Breeders Association. Dr. S. Rukmangadan and Shri Pradeep Kumar representing BCC Tamil Nadu Breeders Association. Dr. Ashok Reddy, Mr. Ashok Reddy from Andhra Pradesh and Telangana Breeders Association. Dr. Vijay Makhija, President INFA. I wish the committee had given 3 more minutes, I would have named everyone else. So finally, we extend the hearty welcome to all other invitees and attendees. Wish you all an evening full of information flow from our guest speakers and a hearty discussion and fellowship after dinner. Now I request our President, Dr. Deve Gowda, to give opening remarks and introduce theme of today's program. Welcome all of you. Thank you.
The biggest challenge what we face today in the industry is the availability of maize and soybean meal. So how to minimize the usage of this maize and soybean meal? By using alternative raw materials. That is what I am going to discuss in few minutes. Already our layer farmers are using some alternative raw materials. But in the broiler forum, it is very less. Just I would like to take some examples. For example, DDGS. Now it is available in the country, relatively large quantity. Reason being, Government of India is encouraging ethanol production to blend it in petrol. And this DDGS is rich in protein, rich in energy, and also fairly good in fat. But only thing is, some of the supplies, they are not properly dried, or variation in quality batch to batch. Otherwise, it's a good ingredient, very commonly used in United States of America. Coming to next is silkworm pupae meal, silkworm pupae. Karnataka is a leading state in producing this. very rich in protein, as high as 60%, rich in fat, rich in amino acids, rich in omega fatty acid. And much of it is going as a waste. Very small quantity is used. Dr. Srinivas is speaking on that. The next one is insect protein. That black soldier fly larvae, that consumes waste, corporation waste, hotel waste, chicken waste, and grow and produce very good protein as well as fat. So the Anuppa Veluswamy is speaking on that. Next one, let us see how much maize and soybean meal we are producing in our country and what is our requirement for the animal industry. If you look at the maize, almost we consume 13-14 million tons of maize alone in the poultry, includes broilers and layers. Almost 50% of what we produce around 27 million tons, 50% of it goes to the poultry. Remaining 50% goes for the cattle, breweries, starch industry, and so on, and some export also. Coming to the soybean meal, the poultry industry consumes more than 50%, close to 60% it consumes what we produce in the country. Of course, some quantity we do export, some we import. Still, overall, if we calculate, there is some shortage, small amount of shortage is there. But only biggest problem is the hoarding. Hoarding is the biggest problem. For example, about 3 days back, Government of India announced import of 5.5 lakh tons of soybean meal. Immediately in the market, there is a drop in 10,000 rupees per ton of soybean meal. Why it is? Because of hoarding. So hoarding also creates shortage. Not only that, there is a good demand for this soybean meal. Look at what is not in the ground, but already sold, what we call it a forward trading. Many of the producers, even for the next year crop, already they have made the booking. So such a demand for soybean meal. So our intention, how to minimize the usage of soybean meal in broiler and layer feed. That is our main intention, and to minimize the pressure on soybean meal. Now this data I have taken from Dr. G.L. Jain, famous geneticist. Look at his comparison, fantastic. What is the price of broiler feed in 1981? 2,200. What is in 2021? 38,000. Am I correct, Sir Kishore Kumar? And look at how many times increase. 16 times, 17 times increase. Compare the broiler price. What was the price in 1981? It was 14. Look at price in 2021, 90 rupees. Only 6-7 times increase. Look at the price of feed, price of the chicken. How we are surviving? Because of better feed conversion ratio. 40 years back, the feed conversion ratio was something like 2.4, 2.5. Now it is 1.5, 1.6. There is a saving of 1 kilo for every kilogram of broiler chicken what you produce. That means for every bird, about 2 to 2.5 kilo. So how many millions of broilers we are having? I think Dr. Vidyasagar Punja Samir is here, he is very good in calculation of this kind of a things. We are close to 10 million tons. If we calculate number of broilers what you produce, how much feed you save per bird, it comes to 10 million saving of feed per year. And what cost? Calculating at 38 rupees per kilo, 38,000 rupees saving per year. So this is at a FCR of 1.5, 1.6. I am sure in due course of time it becomes 1.3, 1.4, even scientists are targeting 1:1. Much more saving. So that is our intention. Improve and reduce the usage of soybean meal, reduce the usage of maize, so that is the target. Here look at it, We do feed formulation. We can do lot of feed formulation depending upon market conditions, producer objectives, availability of the raw materials. The first is reduce the cost of production, that is the main intention. Always we need not go for high energy diets. Low and medium energy diets also absolutely many times they also work well and we save a lot of money. And not only that, sometimes we go for high energy diet thinking that we get better FCR and so on. When we go for high energy, we have to increase soya bean, we have to increase oil, we have to increase synthetic amino acids, everything we have to increase. So increasing too much of energy leads to the abdominal fat accumulation, difficulty at the time of processing and at the wastage. So always high energy may not be economical, we have to look at overall cost, reduce the cost of production or realize more money. That is what our Ashok Kumar sir will tell, even Manjesh Kumar Jadhav. They all, and our Dr. Suresh Babu, somewhere here, he also talks a lot about that. And what is the market condition? In our country, in a year, only 6 months there is the demand for chicken. Right, Dr. Nalapa? And another 6 months we don't have much demand. So depending upon the market, you grow the chicken, whether you want 2 kilo at 32 days, 35 days, or you want 2 kilo at 38 days or 40 days. Formulate the feed in such a way so that it becomes cheaper, economical, make use of some alternative materials at a very small percentage so that we can minimize the pressure on soybean meal and maize. And still the feed what you give to the chickens, look at how much is going as a waste in the manure. 20 to 30%. Of course, nowadays we use phytase, the phosphorus elimination is reduced. Nitrogen, quite a lot of nitrogen comes into the poultry manure, that creates ammonia production and so on. So usage of some good protease enzymes months, maybe 4 months, depending upon. Of course, you require purchasing power for that. Everybody cannot purchase. It is a purchasing power, money power, investment that is required. I am sure our Kishore Kumar Hegde will like this one. Maharashtra, we buy from Bihar. We buy from Bihar about 2 to 3 rupees cheaper, but its quality much inferior to the maize from Karnataka, maize from Maharashtra, maize from Telangana. Dr. N.C. Manju will talk on that. The maize from Karnataka is rich in protein, rich in amino acids as compared to Bihar. Big difference. And also maize from Bihar, many a times fungal contamination. Don't be under the impression 2, 3 rupees, 4 rupees cheaper in Bihar. It is not at all economical. Look at the amino acid composition Dr. Manju will show. And due to the Russia and Ukraine war, import of sunflower has stopped. Now pressure on rice bran oil, what we use in the broiler feed, it has gone up to 150 rupees. Earlier, which was available less than 100 rupees. That also put a pressure on the cost of feed. And similarly, sunflower cake we used to import. Used to very commonly use it in the layer feed. That also put a pressure on that. Coming to this one, the latest carb recommendations for the broilers. Look at the energy content. They have reduced the energy drastically. They say the present day genetic bird is able to better convert the energy and other nutrients into meat. That is what they say. They have reduced the energy, they have reduced the protein, more economical. We can reduce soya bean, we can reduce synthetic amino acids. So this is the latest. And here in India, our Dr. Ashok Kumar Shetty, as well as Dr. Vidyasagar Punja, Dr. Nagbhushan, they are all working. What should be good for our condition? So they are all working. A lot of research is going on in India also. What is good for our country? So they are also doing a lot of work on this aspect. Coming to the silkworm pupae, Dr. Srinivas will talk more on that. Just one slide. This, in Karnataka, we get close to 8,000 to 9,000 tons of silkworm pupae. Very rich source of protein, fat, amino acids, and most important, omega fatty acid. And much of it is going as a waste. Very small quantity we use it. And not only waste, it creates pollution, huge amount of pollution. So this is what I request some of the entrepreneurs to take up this. Drying is the challenge. Immediately collect it and dry it because it has too much moisture. Too much moisture, collection, drying is the most important. If we do that, we can minimize the soybean meal to a great extent because it's a very rich source of lysine also I have given, so better than soybean meal. And the energy content as high as 3,400, 3,500 is the energy because of fat, such a high level of fat. And it is used in human beings also. Very popular in China, Thailand, Vietnam, northeastern part of our India also. It's a very, very popular as a human food also. And in our country, totally 25 to 26,000 metric tons of silkworm pupae available. This is what we call as converting waste into wealth. Otherwise, this waste creating pollution and such a nutritious food we are throwing out. Coming to the insect protein, look at this, the black soldier fly larvae. It's a specialty. It eats on waste material like corporation waste, hotel waste, chicken waste, and it grows and produces protein and fat. Highly nutritious, and we can replace small quantity of soybean meal. In European countries already it is very common, but in our country it is not economically viable as on today. Once the technology improves, maybe after 5 years, it may be economical. Silkworm pupae, definitely it is economical. Only thing is it has to be dried. That's the only job, that is what is required. Here, Anapa Goswami from Coimbatore, she is speaking on this. And coming to this chicken waste, Dr. Abhilash is a young veterinarian. He has tied up with BBMP, Bengaluru Bruhat Mahanagara Palike of Bangalore, and they have given permission to collect chicken waste from 1,000 retail shops. They have given permission. So right now he is collecting from 200 chicken outlets and is preparing poultry byproduct meal. And he is selling to Andhra Pradesh, one company, 2 companies in Chennai. 30 rupees he is selling. He wants to collect from all the 1,000 units very soon. He wants to expand his capacity and collect from all the 1,000 units what BBMP has given permission. So he renders it and sells it. So look at how much pollution we are reducing. Here most important not only feed, reducing the pressure of soybean meal and feed, the pollution, similarly silkworm pupae, then corporation waste, the chicken waste. This is a very, very important challenge. Finally, Dr. Prakash Rao is right here sitting in the front. Very my close friend. He is the president of National Academy of Sciences. Probably he was in animal waste into feed. I visited his factory about 35 years back. He was so much interested. His factory was far away, road was not good at the time. He has taken me morning till evening. He has spent time with me. He showed his facilities. He is one of the leader in this area, converting the waste into feed to minimize the usage of other raw materials. Now he is the president, All India President of National Academy of Veterinary Sciences, very talented, very enterprising. At that time when I was studying master degree in IVRI, he was gold medalist in that institute. He was the first one to get the gold medal. Coming to next, Dr. Selvia Karpagam, right here she is sitting. We say we have to popularize consumption of eggs, chicken meat. She is doing silently so much of work. Silently she is doing so much of work, meeting chief secretary, ministers, so many government officials. Because I know her from past few years, Giridhar from NECC, she works with NECC also. They have an organization called Our Food, Our Right. And so much they provide nutritious food. Introducing the eggs in midday meal, they are also mainly responsible in Karnataka. Now in 7 districts they have introduced, they want to extend to all the districts, they are working on that. Very silent worker, she never come up out, only thing is it appears in the newspaper or television, that is what it is. Finally, Dr. Ashok Kumar Sethi already welcomed our sponsors. Again, I would like to welcome our Venkateshwara Hatcheries for supporting for this program, Lifeline Feeds. Whenever I ask our Kishore Kumar Hegde are always very supportive. And Bharat Agrovet, Dr. Arun Kumar Rai, he is a member of IVPI also. Coastal Chicken, Prakash Sethi, and Vincent Coutinho, Nandus, Naveen, Naren, Nandakumar sir, and from Shanthi, Shanthi Lakshmanan, all of them. We welcome, sir, all of you again for the support of this program. Thank you, sir. With this, I conclude. I request Dr. Arvind to take up.
So, thank you, Professor. So, moving forward, I now invite the first speaker of the program, Shri Kishore Kumar Hegde, the Chairman and MD of Lifeline Group. Shri Kishore Kumar Hegde has built his organization on a strong foundation of values, ethics, and society first with his visionary thoughts. Mr. Hegde is a well-known industrialist not only in Chikmagalur but also nationally and globally. He has traveled to more than 25 countries to adopt the latest technologies in poultry. Mr. Hegde has been bestowed the District Rajyotsava Award, Kentucky Colonel Award, the Best Broiler Performer Award, and Excellence in Poultry Award. Now, I request Dr. Vinod Bhatt, Secretary, Veterinary Council of India, to welcome Mr. Hegde with a bouquet.
It's an honor to me also.
Yes.
Sir.
Thank you.
So, over to you, sir, please.
Namaskara ellarigu. Good evening all. Yeah, this is the task Professor Devagada sir gave me. Steering the business in volatile climate, an entrepreneur's perspective. Here, I am trying to target only younger generations. I think older generation are more expert than me. There is no fun in talking about crisis for the older generation. It looks very different thing actually. But I am targeting directly to the younger generation, how we have to steer this thing. Please take it, if sometimes I use the tougher word, please have the excuse. If any take home message is there, just please take that and follow that one. Yeah. Yeah. This is what my main role model, J.R.D. Tata, strongly believed that goodwill is the only asset that competition cannot undersell or destroy. This is what we all poultry people should follow, what I feel. Because this is the fundamental thing. whatever the challenges comes, threat comes, that is an opportunity we have to take, that is an opportunity to turn into that one. This is what the strong pillar. If we compromise that time, we lose everything, whole of our life. Then these are the just tip of iceberg. You people already facing all that things, digital marketing, order aggregators, price of raw materials, LPI, so many things. How the challenges will come. See that we have got some emotional connections. Why poultry is always facing a lot of problems. Whatever we do, finally it end up with the loss, all that things. See the maize price, it is Chicago Board of Trade, how the maize price going up, not only in India, entire globe, not only poultry, all the who are all in livestock industry, all facing the same problem. See that maize price, soybean price, how it is going up only, what professors are told, it goes up, it will never, very rarely it comes down, it goes up always. We have to be very innovative and all the way we have to work on efficiency. Then here it starts, is what we have achieved a true globalization. Helpful or menace? I have got my own experience. Just 1 year back, I called some soya solvent extraction people. Yesterday he told that something 45 or 46,000, suddenly he told 55,000, 10,000 rupees in a single day jump. I asked him then, why you are telling just a day 10,000? No sir, last 7 days Brazil is not received rain. Where is Brazil rain? When the crop will come, we are not at all importing, but just gambling. 10,000 rupees, just Brazil rain has not received last 7 days. If tomorrow it receives, what is going to happen? God only knows. This is what the gambling. According to my experience, globalization started killing everybody. We depend some one country and logistic problem, so many other things. I think we have to be careful about this. Then again for younger entrepreneurs, you are aggressive, your father built the company, but be careful. First try to understand that planning, procurement, cash flow, employees' wages and investments all put together. These we have to be. There is no problem, you can go for all aggressions, all that things. But only the thing is first you have to see that you can you sustain all that things. Again external, for example today if you want to import all that things, logistic problems, import supply chain disturbance, all put together, you are facing a lot of problems. See that finally, core competence, lab meat, Bitcoin, share market, hospitality, gold, real estate. Finally, where you are into the poultry. What I want to tell you is, don't put everything into your mind and don't get puzzled or don't get confused. Be focused for younger generation, be focused. You are into the poultry, focus only on poultry. Money will come. Every industry has got its own problem. Bitcoin has its own problem. Gold has its own. Somebody maybe made a lot of money on real estate, but be dedicated, be committed and be serious on your business. Don't be a hit and run businessman. Definitely you are going to fail. Rate comes and goes. You have to be so careful. If you are into the core competence, you try to understand all your business and how you are going to tackle that also you understand. Business will teach you. That's what I believe in. See, identify your core competence, where your business within your control. If you are able to control, then only invest. If you are not able to control, don't go for that one. This is most important. Otherwise, if you get disturbed, because today's social media, Instagram, Facebook, everything, it is loaded with so much of knowledge. Over knowledge is also sometimes over nutrition, how the over nutrition also so bad, like that over knowledge is also most of the time. Sometimes innocency works better, sometimes we have to be foolish, then only success will come faster. If you are too intelligent, you never stay in a single, you will be totally disturbed. That is why concentrate what you can, what is within your control. Please, investors you may get the investors, you may get the bankers, all that things. Finally, you have to repay. Invest in the people, again your employees, focus on your employees, make them to stay longer times. They are the real assets, they are the real custodians of your companies. You cannot sit everywhere. They are the real custodians. That you take care, that is most important. If you taken care of your employees, then 90% or 95% your problem is going to be solved even in crisis also. See that your bird health, most important again, your biosecurity, your nutrition, your formulations, your infrastructure has to support 365 days. Even worst volatility, worst unwanted situations also your bird has to be very healthy. Then only we can succeed. Then the most important thing is your supplier. Keep them in good humor. It may be your maize, it may be your soya, it may be your medicines, amino acids. Once you purchase, don't make them to call you. It is our businessmen's things. If suppliers start calling you, then that day we start going down. That is what my belief, don't mistake me. Once we get that right time, if it is 30 days, 7 days, 6 days, 1 hour before the payment has to reach there, then only we can grow better. Most of the time, why I am putting so much of pressure on this? These people are going to help you when you are in crisis. This is called goodwill. It may be your banker. Banker will invest, banker will fund. Right time, if you are unable to pay the bank, then bank are also going to tell you hands up. We can tell a lot of stories, even our personal repo, everything worked before 10, 15 years back. Today bankers are pure balance sheet, pure your repayment, pure your financial strength. Then only they entertain you. Otherwise, overnight our whole system will going to collapse. This is what, take care your supplier. It may be maize, soya, pharmaceutical, bankers, including your employees. Then all people are going to withstand with you even the worst crisis situations. Honesty, quality, financial discipline. Why we have got so much of certifications? ISO 9000, 2015, ISO 14000 we have got, ISO 22000 we have got, ISO 45000 we have got, ISO 51000 we are working today. Why? Why so many certificates? Every certificates guides you in so many ways, in different directions. I used to call the 360-degree approach, not 90 degree, 180 degree. You must have the 360-degree approach. Minutest level, your variations, your deviations, these certificates means religiously we have to follow. That we should not use that certificate just for show. Religiously follow that. What is the terms, conditions, systems? System should be within. If it is little deviations, immediately they take care. This is what the certificates help for your quality management, your supply management, your financials. In every way it helps for your business. Finally, you understand that we are producers. Again I will tell you, lot of people have got that, sir, poultry is so volatile. There is no future in poultry. Yes, there is no future. 30 years back I used to travel with the 800 car. Today I am traveling Range Rover, traveling with. Then poultry is no future. With 800 car to Range Rover, still I am telling poultry does not have future. I will tell you, as long as sun and moon will be there, poultry is going to be here. But only thing is we have to be efficient, we have to be innovative, we have to be more dedicated, we have to be more focused. If we are into the poultry, You are looking at the stock market, you are looking at the automobile, you are looking at the Bitcoin, you are looking at the online marketing, you will be nowhere. You will be jack of all, master of none. Be dedicated. This is called, you have to meditate. You have to be a serious businessman. You have to, that what today, a lot of examples here only. Lakshman sir is there here, Manjesh sir is here, MCR Shetty is here. Lot of examples. Why they are so strong? Because they are good in procurement. Over 70% of cost comes from the feed only. If your procurement is really good, definitely you can control 4 to 5 rupees per kg of body weight, per kg of cost of production, per kg, 4 to 5 rupees minimum. For example, today's, my cost of production this year I target only 90 rupees. If I go beyond 90 rupees till this December, we are going to be the loser because we entered contract with our own processing plant for 92 rupees supply. Every 9 divisions we have got, every division has a separate profit center. We have to control such a way, otherwise we are going to lose somewhere. Every center, 9 divisions has to make profit at any given time. Last year our gross margins before tax and depreciation, it is 7%. Last year I am very unhappy because somewhere we went wrong. I wanted to make 10% gross margins, openly I will tell you. But I have made just 7% gross margins last year of my turnover before tax and depreciation. But my target is this year 12% gross margins. If I target 12%, at least I can achieve 10% gross margins. This is what we have to, there is no hide and seek here. We have to be very open, very transparent, very frank enough. Yes, finally, what we are able to sell, that only we have to produce. That is one thing I will tell, I will request you all people, particularly veterinarians. We entrepreneurs, you veterinarians, both are the eyes of, 2 eyes of poultry. We have to go together. Today a lot of halla gulla is happening, online marketing, this, that, competition for burning the money. But we are working for the profit. Others are talking of, if we talk about the profit, they laugh at me or laugh at us. No, don't worry at all. We are working for profit. We are not losing somebody's money. We don't want. We are liable to our country, we are liable to our bankers, we are liable to our employees, we are liable to our this thing, product also. That's what we have to be, without any deviations, without any confusions, you have to work hard. Then don't get into traps. Please, younger generation, I will tell you, sir, somebody is doing online, somebody is doing this. If online is really, one company show me the making profit online, one company show me the making profit on online, then why you are cracking your head? 2 generations, 3 generations into the poultry, today suddenly 4th generation or 3rd generation get into the online, where you are going to land up? All your father's money or this thing is going. Lot of people ask me, I'll share one small joke that one pharmaceutical company guy always used to, nice gentleman, always used to, they float some ideas. Always used to tell them, sir, why you are not getting into the online? You have got more than 42 plus retail outlets in Bangalore. Why you are? No, I don't, I am not at all interested. I don't want to crack my head. I don't want to lose even, waste one minute. Sir, no sir. Then 4th time, 5th time visit, he told that, I told him that, you are giving me 30 days credit. 30th day or 29th day you are getting my payment, correct? No? You talk to your MD, make it 360 days instead of 30 days credit, and talk to all other pharmaceutical company, instead of giving 7 days, 30 days, you all make 30 days, 360 days, and will take 100 crores out of that. I will start online. If profit comes, I will pay you back. If profit is not coming, you make it 360 days too. Some 2 years or 3 years, this is what. So, sorry sir, no, I don't, no, It is the thing actually today. We are producers. We have to understand we are producers. No need to crack online. This is a separate entity, separate business. Don't think that you are the producer, concentrate on produce, be efficient, make profit there only. If you really want, tie up with some online company, give that. A good crisis should not go to waste. I will tell you one thing, good times, very prospering, you are making a lot of money, don't invest that time, don't invest. Whenever the problem comes, that time you have to invest. Whenever the problem comes, that time you have to invest. That is the only funda that you can make a lot of money. For example, first corona outbreak, COVID-19. Before that we installed our rack system, cold storage. Till then we are into the only chilled chicken. Afterwards, the story is entirely different. This is what our soya extrusion plant, 100 ton capacity per day, expandable to 300 tons per day. Why we got into this one? Last year, maybe around May or June, I bought 3000 tons of soya from two parties. One party 1000 tons, one customer 2000 tons at 59,000 rupees. After 1 week they started supplying. The 59,000 it went up to 99,000 within 15 days or 1 month. 59,000 to 99,000, 98,000. Somewhere he wanted to break this thing, contract. He agreed to supply 46% protein, then started supplying 41, 42. What to do? If I reject, I lose 8 crores or 9 crores. But silently accepted. What are all the way he can do adulteration, he done that adulteration. We accepted. First time in my life I accepted that kind of material. We used. That day we decided, I told my sons, we will go ahead with this one, soya, extrusion and expelling. Immediately we will go, no, we cannot use this kind of adulterated raw material. If it is adulterated raw material, if we are using, our chicken quality is compromised, no way in future. Just we started, just 15 days back we started that soya extrusion plant. This is what our rack system, cold storage, 750 tons capacity. Whenever a crisis comes, this cold storage will be full. If crisis is not there, cold storage will be empty. If it is not sufficient, we will hire 2-3 further cold storages in Bangalore and we stock it. This is what the one single year while investing this cold storage, our executives started asking me, sir, why so much of investment on that? We don't have any practice. In one single stroke, all whatever we invested, all we recovered in one stock. When chicken price came down 40, 45 rupees, at that time we started storing. When chicken price goes up 130 rupees, that time we sold that. Yeah, finally, all business has got a lot of ups and downs, not only poultry industry, not only livestock industry, every industry has got the lot of ups and downs. We have to be bold enough, we have to believe in this business, we have to be always think of better technology and work continuously on that. Thank you, IVPI, for giving me an opportunity. One small thing, again I am requesting you people, IVPI and our young entrepreneurs and our industry people, just to sell your product. Don't do negative marketing, please. Don't do negative marketing. It kills you. It kills you. Sell your product ethically. Don't do negative marketing. For this, We all have to join together. We veterinarians, we entrepreneurs have to join together. We have to fight for this. We have to fund it. We have to fight for this. Please. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I invite Dr. Manju NC, Assistant Vice President, Nutrition and Quality Control, Jaffa Comfeed. I am very proud to say that Dr. Manju NC is from Karnataka and our alumni from Bangalore Veterinary College. He has more than 2 decades of experience in poultry nutrition. He is servicing 6 feed mills across India and leads a team of 16 veterinarians and 90 quality control staff. He also visits the neighboring countries for providing nutrition and technical support. Now, I request Dr. Shivarudrappa, Additional Director, Animal Husbandry Department, to welcome Dr. Manju NC with a bouquet. So the dais is yours, Dr. Manju.
Good evening, everyone. I think it has been still we are going through a very rough roller coaster ride for raw materials from quality side as well as the price side. So strategies that are adopted during good times are going to save a lot of money. So that is the background of this presentation, and there is no escape from this. We have to go through this, but we have to minimize our losses even in the event of crisis. So with this objective, I will take up my slide. So basically, I am talking on the factors which are directly, raw material factors which are directly affecting the feed price. You can categorize them basically into quality factor, availability factor and the price factor. And the most biggest mistake that we do is we forget about costly nutrients. Costly nutrients change every time. So when the raw material price change, when maize changes, oil changes, the energy becomes a costly nutrient. When DCP changes, DCP becomes expensive, then the phosphorus becomes expensive nutrient. So it changes, and other side of it, whenever you are formulating, the nutrient response in formulation also becomes costly. So the nutrient become expensive. Quality factors, we have gone through this, like most of us know, the biggest contributing factor for feed price is analytical deviation. In subsequent slides, I am going to show you some of the real data which I have accumulated from my own sources, and I will show you the deviations that are existing in the raw material quality. Anti-nutritional factors, they are inherent, so there are processing methods which help you to get out of the anti-nutritional factors, and forced adulteration, which is very, very frequent these days, and especially last year and even today. So soya, although it went up to 100 rupees and it has come down to 50 rupees or 45 rupees or whatever, even now the adulteration is going on. Producers, soybean meal producers, solvent extractors I can say, they take it for granted, 2.5% of sand and silica is granted for them. They forcibly adulterate it. You will be surprised when you visit your soybean meal extractors. They have a sand loads which are kept in there, procured specially for adulterating soya sands to take it up to 2.5%. So the scapegoats are us, the industry. Seasonal variations, so I will talk about this in a couple of slides. Seasonally, like there is no seasonality left now. Like currently we are expecting, last year at this point of time Bihar corn was about 15 rupees. All companies used to stock at that rate. Today it is settled at 22 rupees ex Gulababad. So there is no seasonal factor left. The quality factor of seasons is really horrible. I'll tell you about that, like off season challenges and the seasonal challenges. Seasonal challenges are very different and off seasonal challenges are very different. Geographical variations, professor already said, about the corn variations across geographies. I will show you some data which is actual. The sample number is huge, about 800, 900 samples data I am going to show you. Processing variations, yes, particularly the ingredients which are processed, the heat treated ingredients are specially undergoing these processing changes. Storage quality and quantity losses and quality issues of LSP and DCP. This is the latest one. LSP, adulteration of LSP with DCP is very, very rampant nowadays. Corn region wise variations, this is our own data. So, we are pan India company, we source corn from across the regions. So, sometimes Maharashtra gets a rake of corn from Bihar, and look at the variation. The protein percentage is varying almost 1.5% from one geography to another geography. And look at amino acid levels, all of them are varying to the tune of about 8 to 10% CV, you can say. And look at energy, energy is almost 150 kilocalories. So, that is huge. Today 150 kilocalories is a cost of about 1000 rupees, that is quite huge. And the most corn quality issue is the grain size. A kg of small grains and a kg of big grains will totally have a different energy levels. So, we should know that the corn grain size is the one, corn counts, I think normally feed quality control departments do corn counts at their feed mill level. So, feed mills should understand that the grain size is most important whenever you are buying corn, and the problem with low energies is because of the corn grain size. Meat and bone meal, most of us do not have laboratories, we blindly buy it, we buy it on the crude protein percentage. The real challenge is the amino acid deviation. Look at this data, ideal MBM rarely is available, it is 20 to 30%, the protein variation is though 3%, the amino acid variation still lies in 3% CV. Look at the market availability of meat and bone meal, which is 70 to 80% of meat and bone meal sample is having amino acid covariance of about 17%, this is average CV I am talking about. So, that is very huge. And again the MBM source, there are two kinds of people who are producing MBM. One is the manufacturer himself who processes, who slaughters animals, and the other one is who is buying byproducts from the slaughterhouse and then processing it into meat and bone meal. The thing is, there is a huge difference between these things, and we have done lot of analysis with this. The people who are having the slaughterhouse are fairly giving the better quality compared to people who source byproducts from the market. And the biggest issue with these two sources is pepsin digestibility. I think most people do not have pepsin digestibility. I really, this is a matter of concern for small scale feed millers. They do not have testing facilities and they really suffer because of this. The protein percentage is 50% and the pepsin digestibility is coming only 65-70%. This is a real challenge, and the physical challenges, color, texture, smell and lumps. In my experience, I have also got an MBM which is flavored, when they are using some dead animals. So, the MBM gives somewhat dirty odor. To mask that, they are adding flavors. So, adulteration has to gone to that extent. Again, particle size deviations, microbial contamination, calcium and phosphorus deviation. I will tell you, calcium is biggest culprit for our consumption drops. Most of us suffer from feed consumption drops. That is mostly because of calcium. Either it is because of MBM or it is because of LSP and DCP. So, these three are the culprits which are contributing to calcium in our feed and it causes consumption drops. DCP quality issue. I have put two graphs here. This is again our own house data. A consistent DCP will have 18% calcium and 23%, 18% calcium and about 23% calcium and 18% phosphorus. This is an ideal DCP. What happened when the crisis happened? When the DCP prices shot up to about almost by 60-70%, even today it is settled at much higher price. Look at the deviation of calcium percentage and look at the good time MBM, good time DCP. So, almost the calcium levels ranged from 8 to 10% to level of 23-24%. And you can imagine the people who are not testing calcium at their facilities, how they might have affected because of this calcium and indirectly affecting the feed consumption and the bird health issues. Again, the simple indicators for LSP, DCP adulteration is basically ash, and if you do not have anything, just check total ash and just check your bulk density. Bulk density and total ash will give clear indication of what is happening to your DCP quality. Rice DDGS challenges, trust me, I think Evonik has published huge data. So in my own analysis is that we are getting a CV of about 35-40% protein variation. I am telling you, they sell it as rice DDGS, actually it is not rice DDGS. Why we are getting this variation? Because they are adulterating with all kind of cereals, you know, the all kind of waste materials like broken rice, bajra, pearl millet, jitna waste hota hai, matlab whatever waste material is there, that is all getting into rice DDGS and we are getting it as a fine pack of protein. So that's what is happening to us. And the challenge is, look at the lysine protein digestibility to the other side of my presentation, like the processing deviations. The lysine variation is from 0.87 to 0.39%, and protein digestibility is varying from 77% to 46%, and digestible lysine value 0.67 to 0.19%. This is the reality. And the problem for nutrition is, especially the people who are not having in-house nutritionists, is that they don't absorb these variations. They don't absorb these variations when an ingredient is having 43% of CV, and how are you going to absorb your nutrient variations in a one-page formulation, I call. I love that statement, one-page formulation. Raw material processing variation. So this is another challenge. Lot of things happen there, like especially soybean meal. We treat soybean meal 50% as a premium soybean meal quality, right? So look at the difference. We normally, most people who are having laboratory test KOH, protein dispersibility and urease activity. So these days, I think the people are getting sophisticated and they are testing reactive lysine. A good quality soybean meal, a well processed soybean meal with 50% will have about 92 plus reactive lysine level. Whereas, say the same 50% soybean meal from the same supplier is having an over processed soybean meal is having about 83% reactive lysine. So why I am telling you is that even the premium ingredients, 50% normally we pay premium and buy from the market. So what is happening is that is also getting varied because of the reactive lysine levels. Seasonality, I just touched upon it. So seasonality, like nowadays seasonal factor doesn't remain for ingredients, you know, ingredient prices, forget it. Quality side, yes. When there are harvesting challenges, you know, especially poor harvesting conditions. I want to touch upon Bihar because I have personally seen Bihar market. I have done corn surveys in Bihar. So they dry it wildly. You know, you go to around Muzaffarpur and Gulababad area, you can see people drying corn on the roads. Literally, we have drove our cars on the corn which is put on roads. So this is the condition. And one thing, whenever you are thinking to stock Bihar corn, think about perishability. The Bihar quality of corn is totally different and it is much more subjecting for perishability. So take care whenever you are storing Bihar corn, it is not that you apply the same parameters that you are adopting for south corn or the western part of corn. And uncertain supplies and hand to mouth situation. For whatever reason, plants come under hand to mouth situation, and probably because of financial crisis we can say we are not able to pay suppliers, the regular suppliers, we buy it from someone XYZ. So this is one thing which adds to your feed prices a lot. You know, you don't know what's happening to your price. All of a sudden your feed mill is having 50 rupees soybean meal, suddenly your inventory is gone and you are buying 55 rupees soybean meal, and which is coming into formulation, the same formulation which is unchanged with the price and quality. So this is the problem. And major wrong decisions happen to choose between source of raw materials. Example, I will tell you, there are 3 categories of soybean meal is available, 46, 48 and 50%, right. So there is no standard trend of price difference between 46, 50 and 48%. The situation changes every time. So we do a mistake there, and few people have habit of forcing in MCP even if it is costing 95 to 100 rupees. It is not a silver bullet. MCP is not a silver bullet. Good quality DCP, good quality MBM, good quality MCP. You can choose anything among them because all of them are equally good phosphorus sources. Decide on your formulation on a daily basis. You know? So you just decide how you address your phosphorus cost issues from the feed side by frequently formulating, and look at the cost. It changes every time. It doesn't remain same. And another biggest mistake feed millers do is they don't do formulations on inventories. So inventory formulation is very important because there are three inventories which are lying with the feed miller. One is the stock, the other one is the contract, and the other one is the one which is coming from market. And similarly, three prices: stock price, contract price, and the market price. So nowadays the advanced formulation techniques like multi-blending, so they absorb all the three costs and you can formulate very much from there. But unfortunately, the one-page formulations don't consider these inventories. So whenever you are not considering inventory of your formulations, inventory price, inventory cost of your formulations into price into your formulations, you are gone. So you are already making big loss. I think this is a time every feed miller should think that I have to inventorize and I have to work my formulation based on inventories and decide what to buy from market based on my inventory formulations. Use market price. Suppose if you are not able to do formulations from the inventory side, I suggest you one thing. Have two sets of formulation. One set of formulation you do for inventories and the other set from the market prices, because market price is the one which dictates your raw material cost. So you are making your purchase decisions based on the raw materials on the market side. This I took from AVGen. So advanced formulation techniques have shadow pricing, wherein you can see the relative pricing between the ingredients. If soybean meal is costing this much, what should my rapeseed cost and what should my CGM cost? And the other one is parametrics. Parametrics is like every unit nutrient increase will cost you how much. So these are the people who are using advanced formulation technologies. The small scale feed millers who don't have facilities can run a simple Excel sheet, very simple Excel sheet, listing all your ingredients, listing critical nutrients, and manage this Excel sheet and know your unit nutrient cost every point of time. Like then you can decide, like suppose in this example you can say like maize at 18 rupees for 100 kilocalories it is costing 54 paisa, for 100 kilocalories. Broken rice it is 48. Then you can see like where is your cost sitting for that ingredient and you can decide what to buy or not. What's happened? Cannot change? Oh, yes. We have a lot of luxuries adding our feed additives. Probably I am the one who doesn't like additives. So synthetic amino acid, there are set of things which you can precisely touch upon. Synthetic amino acids, we have a habit of using them very widely. With the change of ingredients, the inclusion levels change. It's not that I put 5 kg amino acid at every form, a standard 5 kg of methionine or standard 5 kg of lysine in my formulations, they change. And also identify your need. When you are selling for bulks for a wet market and when you are selling bulk for processing, your amino acid levels change. If you are focusing on bulks which are sold for wet market, so then you can think of only looking at 5 amino acids. When you are looking for formulations for processing chicken, so you can go up to leucine, isoleucine and valine levels. And one interesting data, last year we imported about 600 tons of arginine. Trust me, this is the biggest mistake. 600 tons of arginine which is not required in Indian feed, literally 103%. I can talk about lysine to arginine ratio is about 103%, and industry imported about 600 metric tons of arginine. That was the funniest thing ever happened in Indian industry. Like you can look at export data, arginine is there. I don't know who advised people to use arginine. Again, glycine and serine, I think these are the non-essential nutrients. People talk about glycine and serine and they push glycine and serine and they increase feed cost by 50 paisa or 1 rupee. That's funny, when you are already using meat and bone meal, so why do you need glycine and serine? Okay, if you are a corn soya based diet, so then definitely you can think of glycine serine adjustment, but don't increase your feed cost just because glycine and serine is deficit. Scientifically it is proven that glycine and serine become deficit, but not necessary at this point of time when the industry is at peak of its production prices. So we have to take care that the glycine and serine should not cost feed. Use and misuse of amino acids, and we never monitor, I think amino acid companies are here, so we never look at price trends of amino acids. We never look at that. So trust me, a good inventory company will first focus on amino acids. That is a big cost for your feed. So look at amino acid price trends and so also vitamin price trends and stock up at the right time. So that will help you a lot, because I think when market is selling methionine at 400, 450 rupees, probably most of the big companies who have capacity to import, they might be using at 200, 190 rupees. That is the reality. You can check, and the small scale feed millers, this is a big burden. You know, big scale feed millers, they somehow cruise through this cycle. Inadvertent of use of feed additives, I think maybe 20, 30 feed additives are there, so which are unnecessarily used. We can talk a whole day on this. And safe and risky reformulations. Nowadays, it has become a habit to reformulate with every feed additive. You know, enzyme company will come, phytase company will come, emulsifier will come, and you know, when you are reformulating, you are screwed up, like, you know, like you are losing almost about 400, 500 kilocalories up, which is an unknown feed additive. I think most of us don't have research facility wherein we can test our energy levels, right? So be careful and know your risks of formulation, especially reformulating, which is not as simple as, you know, like somebody comes and advises you reformulate for 3% lysine or 100 kilocalories energy. Carefully think whatever you are doing is right. Misuse of oils. This is another topic. Today oil prices have skyrocketed by about 40-50%, and people still use 3%, 4% oil. It is no more needed whenever you are frequently formulating. So your energy levels really did not be met by oil at that price, 150 rupees, 145 rupees oil price, you know. And are we overfeeding energy? Professor touched about it. Kpfba North America latest publication 2022, they have clearly reduced energy, and lot of research has happened. Even myself personally have experimented with low energy diets from about 3 years back. That was the beginning of that time, and we are successfully implementing the low energy diets. Only thing is, whenever you are formulating low energy diets, look at the season. Summer can be a challenge when you are reducing 100 kilocalories, but rest of the season you can definitely cruise through. Alternate strategies for reducing oil. We use oil for purposes, you know. Why we use oil? Oil as an energy source. For that, the best option is go source energy rich ingredient, SBM 50%, rice DDGS or whatever is there. And essential fatty acid, we think that oils will give me essential fatty acid. That's wrong. You can as much meet the essential fatty acids of your feed with ingredients. You know, there are good ingredients which can be talked about to meet the essential acid requirement. Process efficiency, it's foolishness if you are forcing in 2%, 3% oil just to improve your pellet mill output. That's unfair. And you can very much improve your process efficiency by emulsifier, and vitamin solubility again, and vitamin digestibility also can be achieved by using fat rich ingredients. Lot of things about alternate ingredients handling. Feed millers require committed capital and human resources. You need to have a proper testing facility. I always worry again about the small feed millers because they don't have testing facilities and still want to use alternate ingredients. This is a high time have a collaborated kind of small scale feed millers network of laboratories, or a small laboratory, central laboratory, wherein small feed millers can work together and test their samples there. And human resources, yes, for qualified staff is required. Material receiving side and the feed production side, if you increase number of ingredients in processing, so you will increase the timing of batch. So that will consume your time. Pellet mill efficiency, I will talk about it in one slide. So pellet mill efficiency will definitely reduce whenever you are using alternate. The response of pellet mill varies with each ingredient. Storage management. Storage can be in silos, or storage can be in stack piling, or storage can be in bulk storage. The people who are close to port, they can store in bulk storage also. The biggest problem with silos is, I will tell you, aeration and fan running. So many people think that aeration will dry corns. That is not so. Aeration is to reduce hot spots in silos. That's basic. And running of fans will not solve all your problems. Running of fans, you should be aware when you have to run fans. When the climate is humid, don't run your fans. When it is downpouring, don't run your fans, because it will increase your moisture in ingredient. And aeration is done to reduce hot spots in silos. And similarly, the ventilation of your like the stack pile samples is very much important. At least you can decide in your feed mill like which ingredients need to be stacked in pellets, you know, wooden pellets or steel pellets, or which ingredients need to be stacked in these bulk stack kind of things. The response of processing side to the feed mill, we can talk again on this. So MBM particle size which influences which eats up your dye basically. When the bone particles come big in MBM, so it eats up your dye. High and low fat raw material, especially rice polish, when you are increasing beyond certain levels, so it will reduce your pellet mill efficiency. Wheat I want to talk about, I think it's time now people are using wheat a lot. Make a coarse grinding whenever you are using wheat, because 750 microns of GMD, 750 microns of wheat grinding is, grinding of maize is not sufficient for wheat. You grind to, you can take it up to 1000 microns, you can very easily pellet, because it will cause problem, otherwise wheat will cause problem if you are not grinding it coarse. Corn size, again small grains you need to adjust the sieves of your hammer mill. Color variations, our bulbs don't know colors, you know, if you are selling feed you always want yellow color, but that's foolishness to look at color, but there are some processing issues whenever you are using alternate ingredient that cause color discoloration of the feed which you are worried about. That's basically because of Maillard reaction. And seasonal variations in summer. So nowadays the basic thing is like it's high time, trust me one thing, like industry doesn't have the equipment industry doesn't have a specially designed coolers for India. So it's high time that we should have specially designed coolers. I think the feed millers should work closely with the equipment manufacturers to have a better designed coolers. No? The PLC, smart humidity and temperature control of ambient air with VFD is very important. You need to have this for better efficiency, because you need to control the ambient air quality. This is a solution slide. The absorbing analytical deviations, that's the biggest challenge, but somehow you have to find ways and means to absorb analytical deviations. Judicious use of feed additives, don't irresponsibly use feed additives because they are a cost. Formalizing purchase decisions, I said you, the inventory based formulations, you need to formulate based on inventories. Reformulation with substrate specific enzymes, know your substrate in feed formulations and then decide what ingredients you should use. And low protein diets, yes, I am using it from years, so they definitely work. Low protein diets is the future. Don't be under assumption that 23% protein is minimum for pre-starter, that age is gone. So better you shift to low protein diets. And whenever you are using alternate ingredients, you decide on optimum inclusion, maximum inclusion. Optimum inclusion is biological performance, you know. I don't want to increase my rapeseed meal to 4%. Why? Because I am scared. I want the best FCRs. Then restrict yourself to 1.2%. Whereas when you are targeting economic performance, I think today's scenario demands that your cost of production needs to be at the lowest point. So the maximum inclusion need to be considered for economical performance. Like you can stretch your limit of alternate ingredients based on the recommendations of your nutritionist. Processing side, I talked about it. This is the need of the day, integrated purchase by small scale feed millers and integrated laboratories like 5-6 small feed millers. Associate yourself and invest in some laboratories where you can have control on the supplier side, because when the raw material price is high, you are getting maximum cheated, not the people who are having facilities. So think about that. And inventory based purchase decisions, if you are not doing it, better change today. If you are not doing inventory based formulations, better change today, and you will see the difference within 10-15 days, and that will change your purchase decisions, you know. And dynamic formulations, yes, I think as dynamic as you are in formulations, that's better, because I have seen formulations which are kept for 3 months, 6 months period irrespective of the raw material price changes. And aligning supplier community, so that's $1 million question. We will not be able to do it because we ourselves are not testing properly. So how can we align ourselves to suppliers? You know, suppliers are not aligned to us. So ideally, my advice is bring suppliers to our level, educate them. That's the need of the day. With this, I end my session, talk. Thank you so much, Professor Devegowda and IVPI Bengaluru for calling me to talk on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Manju. Now I invite Mr. Srinivas BV, MD of Aspertica Biotech, Bengaluru. Come, sir. Come, sir. Yeah. Mr. Srinivas has done his Bachelor of Engineering, followed by an MBA in Operations Management and MTech in Biotechnology and Biochemical Engineering. He has won many awards and accolades such as Biotech Product, Process Development and Commercialization Award from Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, winner of Global Award from UNIDO, Outstanding Entrepreneurship Award by Government of Karnataka, winner of National Entrepreneurship Award from Government of India, Top 10 Scale-Up Companies in India by FICCI, Emerging Star of the Year Award, Chamber of Industry and Commerce, to name a few. So now I request Dr. Mahesh P.S., Joint Commissioner, CPDO and TI, to welcome Mr. Srinivas with a bouquet. Come, sir. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly humbled here to speak in front of such big dignitaries and experts in poultry industry. I sincerely thank Professor Devagowda for giving me this opportunity to speak in this forum. And as Professor mentioned in the beginning itself, we have to respect everybody's time. So in the interest of time, I will not take more time. I will try to be very precise to the topic given to me. So to start with, our major focus is to work on silk pupae meal. So our company, we have an R&D unit at Sir M. Vishwesvaraya Institute of Technology. We have a production unit at Dodbalapur industrial area. So we have been supported by Government of Karnataka and Government of India through various schemes. We are also supported by State Bank of India, and we acknowledge all of their supports. So to start with, this is the timeline of our company, where we received a grant of 50 lakhs from Biotechnology Department to work on various value-added products in 2013. Since then, we started working on various waste materials coming out of agriculture industries, which can be used for human and animal care applications. In 2015, we incorporated a company and we started working on this concept of wealth from waste. And in 2018, we established a pilot scale production unit where we started extracting omega-3 fatty acids from discarded silkworm pupae, and now the remnant after extraction of omega-3 fatty acids is also used as a feed ingredient in aqua industry, which can easily be extended to poultry industry now. Now we have a pilot scale facility, as I mentioned, in Dodbalapur industrial area. Very soon, in a period of 3 months, we are putting up a new facility in Gauribidnur industrial area, where we target to produce 5 metric tons of silk pupa, dry silk pupa every day. That's our target. By October, we are planning to launch this product. So the major vision of the company, as I mentioned to you, India produces more than 1 lakh metric tons of waste pupa. 1 lakh in the sense it's a wet pupa every year, and which can be easily converted into omega-3 fatty acids, both for human and animal care applications. And the leftover after extraction of this omega-3 fatty acids is rich in proteins, which we will be discussing in detail. And this omega-3 fatty acids can be used for poultry industry to produce designer eggs. Initially, we started our project with making omega-3 fatty acid, pharmaceutical grade omega-3 fatty acids for human applications. With time, we realized that human applications requires lot of approvals, and it was a time-consuming affair, where we immediately started using this product into poultry industry, where we will be able to get designer eggs enriched with omega-3 fatty acids. So there is always a problem in sericulture industry where there is price fluctuation. The prices keep changing, the cocoon price keeps changing, and therefore there is always a need for byproduct development, which will give additional revenue for the farmers. This was the major pitch that we started with, and right now the cocoon price has gone up to 1,000. During pandemic, it was even 100 and 150 per kg, where all the farmers were under loss, and we were also invited by Honorable CM to discuss how the price fluctuation can be controlled, during which we proposed this idea of converting wealth from waste and stabilizing the price of the cocoon industry. So, to just tell a very brief about this silk industry, if you see the silk fabric, the cocoon, if you see the cocoon part, only 20% of the silk cocoon is converted into fabric, whereas remaining 80%, which constitute of pupa, is discarded as waste. India is the second largest producer of silk, which India produces 1,35,000 metric tons of cocoon every year. That means approximately 33 metric tons of raw silk is produced, and remaining everything is a waste. If you see the next slide, if you see the material balance, for every 1,000 kgs of cocoon that is being produced, only 200 kg is converted into fabric, whereas 80% is converted into silk waste. That means approximately 33,000 metric tons of dry pupa is available to us to be utilized in poultry industry. The wet pupa amounts to about 1 lakh metric tons, which is simply discarded and an environmental hazard. So, there are more than 1 lakh silk reeling industries in Karnataka, and this silk reeling industry simply discard the waste in various landfills, and which is already an environmental hazard. So, current applications, it's being used as fish feed in aquaculture. It can immediately be used for rearing free range eggs, and it is already, as Professor mentioned, it is already used as a delicacy in Korea, Japan and several northeastern states. And the major problem that is currently problem in this industry is the infestation of silkworm pupa. The silkworm pupa gets infested from other insects, and there is a lot of putrefaction, degradation of amino acids and fatty acids, and difficulty in transportation, logistics and bad odor, which is already an environmental hazard and creating lot of contamination in the environment. Now we have come up with a patented technology where we will be able to solve all these problems together. So, the major problems that is being faced in silk discard is, first, it's an environmental hazard. We are landfilling. Imagine more than 1 lakh metric tons of silk pupa being discarded in various isolated places in Ramnagara, Shidlaghatta and Chikbalapur districts, which fortunately is high rich source of protein and fatty acids, which we were simply discarding it, and it is also having lot of therapeutic molecules like D-NJ, deoxynitromycin, gamma aminobutyric acid, quercetin, which all these three materials have very good immunomodulator properties. Unfortunately, these are being discarded without proper utilization. This is the first problem. When you see the next problem, which this problem can be used to solve the next problem, is India is highly deficient in omega-3 fatty acid. Most of the populations, more than 80% of the population in India are malnourished with omega-3 fatty acids. Both below poverty people are also malnourished. Even in cities, we are undernourished because we don't have proper nutrition. Because most of the omega-3 fatty acids comes from expensive sources like fish, krill, shrimp, flaxseed, etc. We don't get a proper amount of omega-3 fatty acids. Lack of omega-3 fatty acids gives rise to several disorders like related to brain and heart. This problem can be solved if we can completely reclaim the silk industry waste. So, our technology, we utilize supercritical fluid extraction technology to extract omega-3 fatty acids from silk pupa. We have established a pilot scale unit in Dodbalapur. Now we are scaling it up to 20 times of this capacity. So, as Professor mentioned, the major problem in this industry is the collection and immediate drying, controlling of this infestation and other microbial loads within this pupa is very critical. Many people have attempted it, but a large scale interest and several self-help groups has to join hands together to completely reclaim this waste, and this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to incorporate technologies and several self-help groups to produce high quality protein sources and omega-3 fatty acid sources. Basically, we try to collect this, dry it and sterilize it. We have a patented technology of converting this into a sterile silicone pupa at a very reasonable cost, and after extraction of omega-3, the leftover is being used as a protein source in animal industry. So the solution, the immediate solution for this problem is the converting into omega-3 fatty acids, and the remnant should be utilized as poultry as a protein source in animal care industry. The advantage of this is that it is 50% cheaper than all the existing omega-3 fatty acids, and the content of omega-3 is much higher. Not less than 45% is the omega-3 fatty acid content, and we at our company Aspartica, we are able to get up to 62% of omega-3 fatty acids in the pupa oil with the supercritical technology. So likewise silkworm pupae meal, interestingly the silkworm pupae, the protein content is not less than 60%, 65% if it is properly extracted, if fats are properly removed, and the pupae meal is better than soya in terms of amino acid, and it is also on par with fish meal in terms of amino acid profiles also. If you see the amino acid profile of silkworm pupa in comparison with soya and fish meal, it is much superior in terms of very important amino acids like cysteine, methionine, lysine, and also aromatic amino acids like tyrosine and tryptophan is much higher than compared to soya protein, which also acts as a very good antioxidant. So likewise, we have a product called Eggmore Omega, which by utilizing using this in poultry feed increases the omega-3 fatty acid content in the egg by 3 to 4 times. All these products are coming out of silk industry waste. So coming to value proposition and the safety issues, many people, since we have been used to consume proteins and fats from plant sources and fish sources, there are questions of safety, but it is 100% safe. As I mentioned earlier, that silk pupa is widely consumed even by humans in northeastern and Japanese countries, and silkworm pupa finds its medicine in traditional Chinese medicine as a drug for diabetes also, and it is considered as a GRAS material, generally regarded as safe material according to WHO. And our technology, we use green technology without any solvents, and we have a zero waste discharge strategy where everything is utilized till the end. So what is the social impact of this project? So as I mentioned, 80% of silk that is being discarded as waste can be converted into value, and which is sericulture, which is providing to employment to about 10 million people in India. There can be price stabilization, and there can be 40% increase in their revenue. Most of the sericulture is run by women. Our major goal is we are trying to set up self-help groups of women in various places. Already 10 self-help groups have been set up, and these people are being trained to collect this silk pupae and convert it into silk pupae powder, where from there we take it to our industry and extract omega-3 fatty acid, and we produce protein cake also. And interestingly, if there is a simple mathematical calculation, if the entire silk industry waste is reclaimed, India will be able to produce so much of omega-3 fatty acids that is sufficient to cater 29 million people for the entire year. So much of omega-3 fatty acid can be produced from this waste material itself. So coming to the availability, about 26,000 metric tons of dry pupa can be converted. In Karnataka alone, we will be able to produce about 8,000 to 9,000 metric tons of silk pupa. And silk pupa meal, there is a calculation of how much of omega-3 fatty acids and pupa can be converted. And everything, all these statistics, we are talking only about one variety of silks, that is Bombyx mori silk, and there are several other varieties of silks also, which can be effectively converted into these value-added products. So now, during the process of extraction, we have come up with one more product where we co-extract all other herbs along with omega-3 fatty acids. All the herbs that are related to liver are being extracted, So in order to reduce the transportation cost and other unnecessary logistics costs of liver tonics, we have come up with a 10 ml pack where 10 ml can be diluted into 5 liters. And it can be used as a liver tonic where all the herbs related to liver, which is being widely used in poultry industry, are enriched with omega-3 fatty acids and co-extracted. This product we are launching very soon. So these are different active ingredients and how they work. We will not go into details of this. And right now we are, as an alternative, we are also having several feed concentrates, probiotics, mineral mixtures, toxin binders, growth promoters in our company as of now. So this almost completes my presentation. Just to share few of our accomplishments. Our lab, we have a dedicated lab which is certified by Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, which was inaugurated by Professor G. Padmanabhan, former Director of Indian Institute of Science. And we received a global award for this technology of converting waste into omega-3 fatty acid supplements. This was awarded by UNO at California. This is our National Entrepreneurship Award and Top 10 Scale-Up Company Award by FICCI, PwC and CNBC. Our Outstanding Entrepreneurship Award. This is our award related to biotechnology process development by Dr. Harshavardhan. And I'll skip few other things. And we have been representatives from various government agencies. Like our Honorable MP had visited our facility to understand more about byproduct utilization, and this proposal has been sent to central government also. So these are some of the activities that we do with sericulture department, creating awareness about the byproducts and creating self-help groups, and Silk Association of India and several other programs we continuously conduct. And now we are tying up with Ramnagra CEO and several self-help groups to reclaim and collect the wastes, and we will get semi-finished goods from these self-help groups, and which will be converted into a final product at our facility. So we are in discussion with several investors now. With their support, we will be able to produce 5 metric tons of silk pupa, dry silk pupa cake. Our target is October. So we will be launching this product, low cost protein source and omega-3 fatty acids source exclusively from waste materials. This is my talk. Thank you.
After 3 wonderful and brilliant presentations, a small turn in the flow of the events today. It's award ceremony now. Good evening once again. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. With immense pleasure, I announce IVPI's Dr. Arvind Bhatt Memorial Award winner is Dr. Jayant Deshpande. Dear Dr. Jayant Deshpande, it's a great pleasure and honor to all of us here to confer upon you Dr. Arvind Bhatt Memorial Poultry Veterinarian Award for the year 2022. We have known you over the years as our good friend, dedicated fellow professional, a thorough gentleman and a great human being. You have been relentlessly serving the poultry industry for more than 2.5 decades. You have attended many national and international conferences. You have always been a focused and dedicated service-minded professional and a model to fellow colleagues. You have been leveraging the knowledge and experiences gained over the years to solve the challenges of the poultry industry with all the clientele you have served hold you in high esteem. You were born in 1965 at Bagalkot district to Srimati Mangala and Sri Vasant Deshpande. After completing your early education at Bagalkot and Dharwad,
you obtained a Bachelor's of Veterinary Science degree in 1988 from Bangalore Veterinary College. Your crave for learning did not stop at the graduate level, and you pursued your post-graduation studies in microbiology from Bangalore Veterinary College and completed it in 1991. You are married to Srimati Pratibha and blessed with a son Kedar and daughter Abhidnya. Son is working after obtaining an MSc degree and daughter is pursuing her high school. Your career started as a technical manager at the India Poultry Farm, Mysore in the year 1991. You served for India Poultry Farm for over a period of 8 years. From 1999 to 2016, you worked for Godrej Agrovet as Deputy General Manager of Technical Services. Currently, you are giving technical advice to poultry integrators, animal health companies, and food companies as a consultant. We congratulate you on this occasion of recognition and are sure many others would emulate your dedicated approach to the veterinary profession by providing efficient, timely, sustainable, and committed technical support to the poultry industry with a great human compassion and understanding. Now, to felicitate Dr. Jayant Deshpande, I request the following gentlemen to come on the dais, please. Dr. Prakash Rao, President, National Academy of Veterinary Sciences, please, sir. And Dr. R.N. Chatterjee, Director, DPR, ICAR, Hyderabad, and Chairman of IPSA. Dr. K.C. Virana, sir, Vice Chancellor, KVA FSU, Bidar. Sri K. Manjesh Kumar Jadhav, sir, General Manager, Venkateshwara Hatcheries Private Limited. Professor Dr. Ajit Shankar Ranade, sir, Professor and University Head, Department of Poultry Science, Maharashtra Animal Sciences University. He is also Associate Dean of Mumbai Veterinary College. He is also the President of IPSA. I also request Dr. Manjunath Palegar, Director, Department of Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Services, Government of Karnataka. I also request our President, Professor G. Devagowda, sir, to join us on the dais, please. Dr. Prakash Rao, sir, to Garland, Dr. Jayant Deshpande. First Garland, sir. First Garland. Garland, sir. Prakash Rao. And paid off by Dr. R.N. Chatterjee, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all dignitaries. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I request Dr. Jayant Deshpande, sir, family to come on the dais, please. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಲಿ ಫೋಟೋ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಲಿ ಫೋಟೋ ಇದೆ. ಫೋಟೋ Only the family, please. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, I request Dr. Jain Deshpande, sir, to put it in the words, his feelings today.
Good evening, everyone. Respected President of IVPI, Professor Devegowda sir, my colleagues, my teachers, entrepreneurs, and poultry friends. Thank you, poultry industry, for embracing me for so many years and giving me opportunity to grow in this industry. Thank you very much, IVPI, for the recognition for this year. The honor is the inspiration to push myself further to, in the service of the poultry industry in sustainable chicken and egg production. Finally, I would like to thank all my friends, my colleagues and teachers and entrepreneurs who have helped me to grow to this level. And last but not the least, my family members, my wife Pratibha, my son Kedar, and my daughter Abhijna, who have been supportive to all these years to achieve this recognition. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
So moving forward, sustainability, waste to wealth, we have only one planet, protecting nature is protecting ourselves. Now, I am inviting Dr. Abhilash, Managing Director, Nathani Recyclers India Private Limited. Dr. Abhilash is another feather in the cap of Bangalore alumni who is associated with sustainable businesses such as rendering chicken waste into useful byproducts. He is closely working with BBMP Bengaluru on a waste management system. Now, I request Dr. Raghavendra Bhatta, Director NIA-NP, to welcome Dr. Abhilash with a bouquet. Come, Doctor.
Good evening to everyone. Directly I am going to the topic because of the lack of time. The topic of presentation is how the poultry waste that is generated in the chicken shop and other meat shops can be converted into the useful product or value added product which can be used in the poultry industry or in any other animal feed industries. The three main waste that are generated in the poultry shops are heads and legs, intestine and feathers, and also sometimes the blood. These waste can be collected from the poultry shops and can be processed in a rendering process and can be used as a meal for the poultry industry as well as for the animal feed industry. First, we signed an MOU with the BBMP in the 2020 for about 10 years to collect all the waste that is generated in the BBMP limits. We came to know that about 7,000 chicken shops are existing in the Bangalore, which is spread around 8 zones. Bangalore is divided into 8 zones. In all the 8 zones, 7,000 chicken shops are distributed all over it. For us, for our company, about 2,300 shops, approximately 3 zones are allotted for our company to collect the waste and process it and in a scientific manner. So, the 3 zones are Batranpura zone or in the Yelahanka zone, Dasarali zone and East zone. In Batranpura zone, there are about 400 chicken shops, and in Dasarali zone, there are about 380 shops, and in East zone, that is the biggest zone, which is having 1,600 chicken shops. And totally approximately 2,400 shops, we have to collect the waste from there and we have to process it through the rendering process, which is located about 25 kilometers from the Batranpura zone. After signing an agreement with the BBMP, that is with the Chief Commissioner, we started to collect the data from the BBMP. So, how much waste is generated in each zone, which is allotted to us. We came to know in each zone about 20 tons per day of this chicken waste is generated, and in Yelahanka zone it is 6.6 ton, and in Dasarali zone it is 3.8 tons. The blue bar indicates that is in the regular days, whereas in the Sundays and as well as in the holidays or during the festival season, the waste get doubled. It is approximately 60 tons. In the regular days it is 30 tons, whereas in the holidays and the Sundays it is 60 tons. As soon as we signed an agreement, we started to educate the vendors, the chicken stall owners, to collect the waste and segregate it. So, they started to segregate the waste into, they started to segregate the feathers and other offals into a separate bin. This is how we are collecting the waste in a blue drums, in barrel. So, we are not collecting the waste and we are not transporting the waste still in cold containers. We are transporting in a vans which is having the payload capacity of 1 to 2 tons. The process which we are, the poultry waste which we are going to convert it into meal is called as the rendering process, and the machines used for this is rendering machines. I can explain you this for an hour, but due to the limited time, I will tell shortly. This the raw materials will be, after receiving the raw materials, we screen it for the plastics as well as the metals, and then it is conveyed through the conveyor to the super cooker. The super cooker, the temperature will reach about 130 to 140 degrees Celsius for about 4 hours. After that, the primary product obtained is as powder form, which is rich in protein as well as fat. So, that if the protein percentage of the primary product decides the market value of your product. So, if it is having 45% or between 45 to 50% protein, your market value will go up, and if it is crossing 60% protein, the market cost will be about more than 45 rupees per kg. So, if it is protein percentage in the meal, it is between 45 to 50, then your market value about 30 rupees per kg, which is I am getting. So, this is the process. And if you want, the primary product obtained in the powder form can be again defatted, and it can be, protein percentage can be improved up to 60%. If my product which I am getting now, if it is screw pressed and defatted, then the protein percentage will go up to 60%. And the oil which is fat oil obtained can also be used as a byproduct in the glycerin industries and for in producing the biodiesel. This is the plant which is having a 10 ton capacity. This is the local machines which were employed. This is the outer this thing to control the wadle, the scrubber and cooling tower. This is the inauguration of the plant by the Joint Commissioner Sarfraz Khan. So, initially we thought of we are getting from all the 3 zones, we are getting about 60 tons, 40 to 60 tons per day, but we are now processing only 10 tons per day. We have the BVMP also promised that to provide 2 acres land. So where in which the better quality, better technology machines has to be installed, so that the better output can we get. This is the output we are getting in the powder form, and in the conical flask it is the fat oil. As I said previously, the protein percentage decides the market value of your product. If it is having more than 60% protein, you will get about 45 to 50 rupees per kg. But if you are getting protein percentage between 45 to 50 rupees, you will get about 30 rupees. So we are selling it for the 30 rupees per kg, and for every 10 ton processing of the waste, you will get 40% output. So that if we are processing 10 tons, daily I am going to get about 4 ton output product. This is the sample analysis. Every time we send for the lab analysis of this proximate analysis, and we get and we sell. For every week we are going to sell the product. This is the storage. We are packing it in 50 kg bags, and we are selling it to the two companies. One is in K&D company, and one is Fillet Marketing, Andhra Pradesh. In Fillet Marketing, they are going to use it as a fish feed, but in K&D company in Chennai, they are using it as a 1% inclusion in the poultry industry. And future aspects is second phase, we are planning to expand our plant up to 60 ton per day with better technology machines like Senister, Harslave, Mavitech. There are better quality machines, but the budget is very high. So we started off initially starting with the 10 tons, later on expanding to the 60 tons. So every time after collecting the waste, every hour it decides your protein percentage of the output. So every hour the protein percentage get degraded. So in order to avoid that, we are planning to collect from next year in a cold container vans from across all the chicken shops. And also BBMP is paying about 1000 rupees per chicken shop for us. Now currently we have been paid from the BBMP 1000 rupees per chicken shop. So for the labor cost and the transportation cost will be minused in that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abhilash. Moving forward, now I invite our next speaker, Ms. Anupa Veluswamy from Tamil Nadu. Ms. Anupa is the founder of Kpfba BSF, which specialized in black soldier fly farming, a sustainable feed option for both the aqua and poultry industry. Ms. Anupa is an engineer by profession, having ventured into black soldier fly farming since 2017 as a natural solution for waste processing. She has completed her master's in business administration from Birla Institute of Management with a short stint in international business from France. She acquired a passion and knowledge for sustainable technology in aqua industry during her 4-year stay in Singapore. We are fortunate to have her as our speaker today. I request Dr. Rukmangadan, Chairman and Managing Director, Surabhi Breeding Farms, Coimbatore, to welcome Mrs. Anupa with a bouquet. Please.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege to present here ourselves, and I am Anupa. We are into BSF farming since 2018. I'll straightly go with the topic. Okay. So why insect farming? Why the current trend in insect farming is buzzing across the world? So, and why especially BSF farming? See, if we see the growth rate, it is 34.7%, that is projected for 10 years. And if you see the market size, it is 3.4 billion in USD. BSF has several differentiators that has been really a good advantage for mass production. The first thing and the main thing is we can feed anything. We don't have to feed what we are using for human feed, or we don't have to feed them what we are feeding the livestock. They can upscale the scraps and waste that is almost considered as waste into a proper protein source. The next thing is it's a natural feed for most of the land omnivorous animals, and it is native to most of the countries and safe. It is not contagious or transmitting any disease. It's not pest. It doesn't sting or spread any disease in that matter. The next, it is small and nutritious. Being small is giving a really big advantage because we require less space in farming, less resources and energy in handling as well. And it is a nutrition bomb. It contains all the essential nutrients that is required. It is sustainable and eco-friendly. When I talk about the sustainability and eco-friendly, it is used to process the organic waste. And when the organic waste finds its value, especially in BSF rearing, the source segregation of plastic and organic waste happens, which is a big problem. So once that happens, the plastics will find its way for recycling. So it helps in the environmental issues currently prevailing. The other big factor that actually impresses us to get into BSF farming is this figure. We can produce anywhere from 250 tons to 2,000 tons per hectare per year of BSF. The difference in the figure variation is huge because whether we can go as a horizontal farming or as a vertical farming, so the space is same, so the difference is also high. But this is an astonishing amount of BSF that we can produce. This is a live weight, wet weight form. And some other figures, 1 gram of BSF egg can produce 2.5 kgs of live larvae in a span of 10 to 15 days time. And it can process double its weight, consumes that much waste within a span of 24 hours, reducing the biomass of the waste. And we can closely take it to 20 to 22 production batches per year. So why BSF in poultry industry? How relevant it is? See, for the chickens, they have evolved as a wild bird, evolved to process insects and larvae for a quite long time. Their biochemistry is adjusted and evolved for thousands of years to process insects. 20 to 30% of their daily nutritional requirement has been coming from insect in wild and in free-range chicken rearing. So this is not a new thing. It's not a new inclusion. This has been happening in the wild range. Anyway, chickens are not going to fish, go to pond to fish and fulfill their nutritional requirement. Actually, their nutritional fulfillment in wild happens via insect and larvae apart from the plant source. So if you see the nutritional prospect of BSF, the protein content is 30 to 35% in whole dried, but if the same protein percent, when we de-oil the fat, it reaches to 55%, which is at par with the fish meal, and much superior to soya. So that gives a big difference, and the amino acid profile is more than and at par with the requirement, especially in the fatty acid. It is fats it is 25% to 28%. And if you see the fatty acid profile, it is mostly saturated fatty acid being dominating, that is around 76%. And uric acid, C12, is 52%. That is a very critical parameter in the fatty acid. And C12 to C18 is highly available, and it is naturally synthesized, self-synthesized by BSF. That is a specialty. And if you see the other MUFA and Kpfba and DHA and omega, it has to be engineered. The BSF has the tendency to accumulate these fatty acids when it has been supplied in its diet. So there is a lot of research and studies need to be done to really cater BSF according to our requirement. So that is possible to a certain extent. And macro and micronutrients are available as required. Several studies and papers have been published on the performance parameters of BSF. So it is doing good in feed intake and FCR ratios, reducing mortality and improving digestibility and blood traits and antioxidant status. The luric acid, which I already stated, is a special ingredient. Being a medium and short-chain fatty acid, the bioavailability of this is high in the feed inclusion, when we do it in the feed inclusion, and it has enhanced the antimicrobial activity. And it is also reducing the oxidation property of the meat in the end product, which is a plus for marketing perspective on the end meat production. So this is the result that has been studied with 10 to 15% inclusion with an improved gut health, reduced mortality, the yellow yolk and thickness of the shell, which is again a marketing point of view, reduces oxidation of the meat, and it is having all the antimicrobial activities and improves the general health of the animal. The yellow yolk thing is happening because of the accumulation of carotenoids in the BSF, and it is mainly with the help of the diet that has been fed to the BSF. So BSF, in the safety point of view, have a gut microbiota that inactivates E. coli and Salmonella bacteria, which is being a problem and maybe a safety issue in the feed. So it's safe, and moving forward, it actually inactivates the harmful bacteria in the feed. That is the nature of BSF as such. So BSF got approval from AFCO, and EU has also approved BSF inclusion in feed, as both in BSF as a meal and also BSF as an oil. The studies has been done till the inclusion of 20% in BSF meal and to 2 to 5% of BSF oil in the feed. Other applications as a BSF industry, the left-out residue after harvesting BSF is an organic fertilizer which has an anti-phytogenic property, very good in proving very good as an organic fertilizer in agriculture. And chitin and chitosans, exoskeleton derivatives, are finding various applications in the industries. Recent application, and chitin has also been studied for human supplement. As an including it as an antimicrobial supplement in human grade supplements. Currently, BSF is really working and promising for usage in the pet industry. Dog being a wider used feed acceptant. And that is because hypoallergenic properties of BSF, being a novel protein source, helps the dog and dog feed. Good palatability is seen in the dog food, and it improves the dog's general health and coat and also immunity. And recent study has shown that it is proving in anti-arthritic potential of the BSF, so that the bone issues or the arthritic problem in dogs has been getting solved with the use of BSF inclusion in their diet. And Tommy is one of our customer who is sourcing BSF from us, and they are the first Indian brand that is using BSF as a dog food producer. So we have seen the potential of BSF. It is possible to produce them in large volume, but volume is the key when we meet with the possibility of investment, supportive government policies, R&D in each sector in production and also in the machineries, and treatment and utilization in a proper niche segments where we can meet the current production level with the applications. Having said all this, being a COVID BSF, we are trying our best to do the work on inclusion of BSF into the poultry sector, but poultry is, of course, is an ocean for us. And we are also processing the poultry waste and looking for collaborations in that way so that we can address the pain point of anything in the poultry waste to take it further with the help of BSF. Thank you so much, and it is a privilege to be here. And I thank Professor Devagowda sir for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anupa. Now, I invite Dr. Anjan Goswami, General Secretary of Kpfba, Karnataka Poultry Farmers and Breeders Association. Dr. Anjan is a veterinarian specializing in pharmacology with Masters in Business Administration from IIM Bengaluru. Today, he and his co-founder, Ankita Parihar, will share a new, innovative and very much informative app for the benefit of poultry farmers. I request Dr. MVLN Raju, Principal Scientist, Directorate of Poultry Research, Hyderabad, to facilitate with a bouquet to Dr. Anjan Goswami.
Come. We can just. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll आपको मैं बुलाता हूँ. A very good evening to all of you, and thank you very much IVPI for giving us the opportunity to talk about this newly launched mobile app Utpan, which is one of this kind first ever digitally enabled marketplace specially designed for the Indian poultry sector. And in short, when somebody asks about this app, I say it's an India Mart for Indian poultry sector. We all know that the database decision making and information analytics is in part and parcel of today's business world, and poultry is not beyond that. And keeping that in mind, the power of data and information, the Utpan app has been developed by and designed by a very, very highly competent team of engineers for all segment of poultry producers, buyers and the other stakeholders to communicate, connect and do the transactions which having the best of available market information around them. And the data analytics in Utpan app enables registered users to take informed buying and selling decisions and keep updated with the day-to-day market related informations. Moreover, Utpan facilitates quick and efficient financing options to the eligible users based on their transaction record association with the financing partners, in association with financing partners. So here to talk a bit more in terms of the technicalities and the functional features of Utpan app, how it helps the stakeholders of the poultry sector, I would like to call up on stage Mrs. Ankita Parihar, my co-founder in Utpan, who has been instrumental in designing and developing the app, an expert in the area of digital product development in lending space, and master's in analytics from the Indian University, USA, and MBA from IIM Institute of Bangalore. Please, Ankita, you can take it over from here. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Anjan. Thanks a lot for the introduction. Thank you, IPVI and the organizers here for giving us the privilege to come and present our initiative called Utpan in front of the industry leaders today. Quickly walking over what actually prompted us to come up with this solution is, like in any industry, agriculture and poultry industry generates a lot of data. But the biggest question that any stakeholder in the industry uses and sees is how this data can be made beneficial and more presentable to the right stakeholders at the right time. Even if the data is available in hands of some people, how we can disseminate this data to other people across the value chain so that their businesses actually grow well and the industry actually goes even better. So with this ideology in our mind, we came up with certain features in our Utpan platform, which, as Anjan mentioned, it's like an India Mart. But beyond India Mart, we wanted to bring certain other information sources as well, which should be readily available for the poultry and the stakeholders involved. So what, yeah, so what, okay. We shouldn't have more. Can we go? Yeah. This way? Yeah, this way. Thank you. So what Utpan app actually helps enable is, first, as we can see, we are able to bring the stock trend, like kind of a trend in terms of the commodity prices, daily prices for maize, soya, talking to multiple and collaborating with multiple industry leaders across India and making them available on the fingertips of users, just like in stock market. Beyond this, what we also enable is not just having the information available, but making farmers, making producers list their batches, making buyers getting connected through the platform so that the transactions can be further facilitated pan-India. At the same time, we also wanted to enable financing options, which we will just quickly walk through in next couple of slides, that how we enable financing options based on the transaction history, which is built through the platform and beyond. And at the same time, we have to make the information available, very curated, just like Google News, for the agriculture and poultry industry. So quickly walking over. Yeah. So what Utpan does and what Utpan brings to producers, the one main thing when we are actually talking to the industry experts and industry counterparts is that how they can connect to the buyers, how the contract farmers that they are under their capacity can be connected to the end buyers at the right time. What we have enabled over here is any contract company, any farmer can actually register through the Utpan app and list their batches. They can list their batches for as good as a commodity for maize, soya, broiler chicks, edible eggs, any commodity that they want to actually list, they should be able to enable in this curated platform, which is specifically for the industry. At the same time, as the farmers or the producers will have access to the price trends in their market, as we see in this industry, the market prices kind of change based on different markets. The users can actually see what is the prevailing market price in their area for the commodity or the batch they have listed. When a seller kind of approaches them or a buyer actually approaches them, they should be able to benchmark that price. So it is going to lead towards faster decision making for the sellers as well. At the same time, what we have actually brought in for buyers, buyers can actually find out relevant producers in their nearby area, relevant batches in their nearby area, based on their purchase power, based on their requirement of a certain commodity at the end time, and they can connect through the app. Now, how these things actually further help us, which is one of the biggest essence in any industry, is we have to make the financing available for the industry to grow from small to large scale or medium scale people or businesses. What Utpan is actually going to be enabling, we have created a strong network of financiers in NBFCs, MIFs, MFIs, and the banking sectors. What Utpan is going to be just enabling for people to get connected with these financiers. Through time, what this particular platform is going to enable is the transaction history, which is building here. Unlike in many industries, in e-retail, in e-commerce, as we see, B2B platforms are actually coming up. Through the transaction history, people's credit history also improves. So for down the line farmers, for down the line buyers, we can actually have a transaction history built up for them so that their credit history becomes more visible to the lenders and they becomes customer of choice eventually for them. So with this, what we would like to conclude is, very quickly, the main objective of bringing Utpan at this point is to bring producers and buyers on one platform to provide relevant information for better decisioning and faster decisioning of the users, and at the same time enabling financing options down the line. So over to you, Anjan. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ankita, for giving the insights about the MyPets and its functions and features. And this Utpan app we have developed with an objective that in the poultry sector, I keep saying that like we have mastered in our production performances. We have been talking about 1:1, we have been talking about 1.2:1, and we are one of the leading number in terms of the performance production sites in the poultry industry in India. But when it comes to the point of marketing, when it comes to the point of selling, when it comes to the displaying our products in a competitive price, we mostly lack because of the erratic way of having data or sometimes even not having proper set of data. So keeping that in mind, we have tried our best to put across the things in this single app platform wherein this poultry industry can be beneficiaries, and also around the sectors. Tomorrow, whosoever is like even the contract farmers, when the maize growers, soya growers, the broiler hatching egg sellers, chick sellers, all segment of poultry operators, I believe should be benefited with the app. And once again, I thank you IVPI and the organizers for providing us this platform to share about Utpan to all of you, and thank you so much for sparing your time with us. Thank you.
So thanks Dr. Anjan and Ms. Ankita. Now I invite Shri K.S. Ashok Kumar, Managing Director, Ma Integrators. We are delighted that he is also from our alumni, the University of Agricultural Sciences, Bengaluru. He is a go-to person for any issues about the poultry industry, an important personality who firmly believes that, as the adage goes, in God we trust, all others must bring data. So I request Dr. Vijay Makija, President INFA, to welcome Shri Ashok Kumar sir with a bouquet.
Okay, yeah. ಸರಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ಯಾ ಹಾಂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಕೊಡು ಇಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ Good evening, friends, and it is nice to be meeting all of you in IVPA again and again. We wait for this day to share our experience, and we always look forward to learn something back home from this event every year. Now, coming to my topic is the present. Let's go with the past and let's see what is going down and what's going up and what we can do and how we can make profit. Ultimately, that matters for all of us in this room. We are just processors. We get raw material from all of you. We are blessed with a beautiful breed. We are also lucky to have veterinarians like you who have given us a fantastic service. We have many nutritionists who have helped us to do wonderful things. And yes, I can comfortably say in the last few years the feed cost has gone up, but somewhere down the line the people, the genetic improvement, the feed technology, the feed formulations and innovation has definitely put a brake on this.
and I hope in the future this will continue, and maybe our dream to see 1 kg, 1 FCR may come soon. With that note, I start now. Let's see what the history says. First, let me start with the biggest strength of our poultry is data. And once we have the data and once we know how to analyze the data, we can plan the future. We, maybe in the agriculture sector in the country, we have shown in the past and in the future also we will show we are the self-help group. We helped ourselves and we are sustained ourselves. That's mainly because we have a people with lot of knowledge, and the people we consistently we get united and we play a major role. When it comes to costing, let me start with the parent bird. This figures is what is here is in my farm. It may vary from farm to farm, location to location, but let's only look at the trend. 2013, I am just taking only 10 years. I can take back another 15 years or 16 years data I can take, but let's not look for the older data. There is, let's look for the last 10 years. A parent bird in 2013, which is costing around 2,328 rupees for his lifetime, it is currently, this is this year's average, that is 21-22 financial year closing average. But the current cost of the breeder will be slightly higher, another 200 rupees higher if you are culling in the month of the current month. That straight away says the parent cost, the cost of hatching egg, it's going up year by year. Let's see what makes the biggest thing. It is the feed. The feed cost, if you analysis for over the year, it keeps changing. And this 3,120 rupees, when you divide it to an egg requires, as on today, nothing less than, or maybe very close to 11 rupees of feed alone. So today, many people think the egg can be produced for XYZ price, but this is a fact, this is a data, this is not I am saying, this is what is there in the field, this is what is happening. So with this cost, I am not talking about what is the revenue, what we get. I am just talking about only the cost, because we are talking about the cost, let's talk profit later on. Let's come to the broiler part of it. Considering the cost of the DOC on the basis of the parent hatching egg cost, in the last 10 years, more or less 3 years we may have slightly lost money, but what we have to see here, the cost is from 61 rupees, it has gone up to 91 rupees. There is 30 rupees increase in cost. How you can also see where is the cost coming from. Here again, cost per kg and the feed cost per kg of meat. Ultimately, we speak about FCR, but for a businessman like me, what matters is at what price I can produce 1 kg of chicken. So ultimately, as on today, the last financial year average, we have produced more or less around 91 rupees cost, we have produced chicken. This is the contribution of not just me, it is a contribution of all of us here that we are efficient and we are on par with the rest of the world. And the feed cost you can see, but between the feed cost per kg of meat and the cost per kg of production, we have the revenue. The cost per kg is more or less on a similar line. The feed rate and soya rate is it's on a free move. But here is what the technology and all our contribution which has come down. We can see here the 1.87, what has come down is the FCR, which is 1.7, which is likely to go further down. In fact, Professor Devagowda, he said, we have saved so many millions. I can say that in the last 10 years, we have saved more than that. And in the next 10 years, we will be able to save much more than that. So this is 2021-22, we produced for 91 and odd, 92 rupees. As on today, as we are talking, the cost of chicken is 101 rupees. So the cost of bird, cost of chicken is dynamic. It is not going to listen to any one of us. It can change with technology, it can change with something else. Otherwise, to produce chicken, like we cannot wait for the market to come down, or we cannot do anything because the input cost is not in our hand. So we can only play with the efficiency. Like all of us, we know the efficient player is the winner in this field. Yes, coming to the other side, what goes down won't come up. Is the other way, like what is this? Let's see what has gone down. That is a profit per kg of profit is gone down. And we have to seriously note today that we all have to put effort to increase the profit. And if you want to see happy faces here, we all have to be comfortable with money first. So nobody else is going to help us. So let's put our efforts. Let's see we sell our chicken for a better price. It is not me, it's all of us. We are in a great mission, like always Maize keeps talking in every stage, like protein mission. Yes, let's not that protein mission become our social service. And it is not just, don't think that integrators are losing money. Along with every integrators, there are a lot of people behind us and there are a lot of people in front of us also. We are just a chain. We are just a chain. So it is ultimately, it is an activity, we all grow together and we all have to win. So for that, it's the only solution is the demand-based production. We in Kpfba, 2006, 2007 we started, and we always got a habit of meeting only during crisis. Rest of the time, like we don't have time to meet each other. But whenever there is a crisis, the room is full, the chairs in the office is not sufficient. So that is how it goes. And we all cry together. But the biggest culprit is the market and the demand. The demand for chicken is not there in 141 days. That is virtually 6 months, there is low demand. Unfortunately, that 6 months we produce chicken very efficiently. We produce 25% more chicken than what otherwise we produce in the rest of the half. So that adds up further problem. So to make profit, we have to count every week. All this black blocks is a low profit making or low price period. And we have another cycle which is fitted inside is the cost. It is a double-edged sword we play. One side we get less money in the market, the other side somebody wants more money for our input. So what we are left is with the residue of 26 weeks of demand and 26 weeks of low demand. Rest, if at all, if something remains, that comes in that graph, and that keeps coming down every year after year. Our job here is to increase that particular profit consistently, and we have to do it for our happiness. Yes, let's be united and make more money and make more profit, and let's all be happy. Thank you very much. ಮನೆಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಲತ್ತ ಇದು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಡಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your presentation. My task is quite brief, so I'm going to thank all the people who presented here today to make this a very successful event. So I hope you all enjoyed the session. So apart from what we are gathered here, there are a lot of people joined us online also. So that is really nice. I think more than 50% of the people have listened to this talk online also, as I'm getting some information from our colleagues. So on behalf of IVPI, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our esteemed speakers, really different types of presentations today, and also the sponsors, very important. The president and members of Kpfba always partner with us in many of the things. The president and members of National Academy of Veterinary Sciences, secretary and members of Veterinary Council of India. So we are very thankful for your presence as well. And of course, our own Dr. Raghavendra Bhatt from NINP, sir, thank you so much for coming here. And the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Veerana, thank you so much for your presence, and also other members of this KVFSU, our university. And I see Dr. Ranade sir and many other professors coming from different parts of the country. So thank you so much for making it a truly an Indian event rather than being a state event. So I also would like to thank various central and state animal husbandry officers present here. And also, of course, this event is for the welfare of poultry farmers. So thank you so much for your presence. Entrepreneurs, and we see some young entrepreneurs coming up as well when we listen to the presentation. So of course, that is very important. Thanks for your presence. And also would like to thank the office bearers of various veterinary associations. So that is what something we're really proud of it. It is not just only about IVPI today. There are a lot of institutions, to name a few, Vets in Poultry from Maharashtra, and also the Poultry Veterinary Federation in Tamil Nadu, and quite a few other associations throughout India, making this as a very national event. I think it's very laudable. Thank you for your presence as well. Finally, of course, there's a lot of effort from our president, Professor Devagowda, and executive committee members of IVPI. So, and also all the members, thank you for your presence and also making this very, very successful. So with that, I think I pretty much covered everyone who actively participated here. And now I request all of you to rise for our national anthem. All of you to join for the dinner. Thank you so much. Thanks again.